Hi, my name is Khleif, and I'm the host of the Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Investing podcast. And every week I interview multifamily rock stars, and we talk about how they've built incredible wealth for themselves and their families through multifamily properties. So hit the like and subscribe buttons to get notified every Monday when a new episode comes out. Let's get to it. Welcome back to Multifamily Rockstars. So as you guys know, this is where we interview people that are just flat out crushing it in this business. And we show you the inside scoop into how multifamily investors are creating massive success in their businesses and in their lives. And as always, I've got my co-host, who's the director of our massive action team for our Warrior Mentorship Group, Mark Nagy, on the call. Mark, what's up, brother?
Pretty boring over here, Rod, but I know you've got a pretty jam-packed weekend here, 500 plus people. You're going to be
I think it's going to be pushing 600, actually. Yeah, I think it's going to be pushing 600. We've got our...
I'll just be sitting back and watching, so...
Yeah, I wish I could. I'll be wiped out. I'll be wiped out by this time Monday. But listen, we've got a great guest today. His name's Lindsey. And Eric's got a lot of experience in the business. He's got 17 years of construction experience. He's done a lot of wholesaling. He's done, he's been a general partner in mobile home parks. He's done a lot of single family home transactions. He's a licensed realtor, has been for over 4 years. Been a warrior for a good bit now, and has done deals as a warrior, 78 doors, I think, since joining the warrior program. So we're lucky to have him. Welcome, brother.
Oh, thanks, Rod, for having me. And it's definitely a privilege to be on here today.
Well, thank you for that. So why don't you just take a minute and give us kind of a high level overview. I didn't do your bio. There were a lot of things I missed. Give us kind of a high level overview of your background and experience, and then we'll roll into some questions.
Yeah, so it'll be my privilege here. So my background, first off, I'm married, 3 children, 1 grandchild. I was talking to a gentleman a little bit earlier. He was saying I looked 30, so I don't know how I'd be able to pull a grandchild off at 30, but we'll see.
No, I agree, man. I'm shocked actually hearing that. Totally shocked, because I didn't know if you were single, married. I'd never asked you that question, but wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So 42 years old, based out of Kansas City, Missouri. My real estate background, it started right at about 6 years ago. So I have 17 years of construction experience. And so I'm a union carpenter by trade, and it started off really rosy in the beginning, really stable job, really good way to provide for a family. And I started kind of running into those layoffs. So 2008, 2009 hit, and I started getting laid off on a regular basis. And so that sent me down the path to try to figure out how could I shore my family up. And so I started looking into all kind of different investment vehicles, and it kind of led me down the path to real estate. And so long story short, started educating, learning, getting on bigger pockets, the whole 9 yards. And I soon kind of made my mind up that I was going to get into wholesaling, and I locked in on wholesaling. A short time after locking in, I stumbled across a mobile home park podcast, and it was a syndicator that hosted it. And so he was incentivizing his listeners to locate him a deal. And if you were able to locate a deal for him, he would cut you in on it, basically pay you out a portion of the acquisition fee. He ended up paying me out $125,000. So I located a 600 space mobile home park, and I partnered him and the seller together, and he was able to close on the deal. So from there, I was off to the races. I opened up a full-blown wholesaling company here in Kansas City, started closing between 20 to 25 deals a year, and soon realized that was another job. And so didn't want to continue down that path. And I'd been following you, listening to your podcast for 4 to 5 years. And I knew within my mind, as soon as I had the opportunity, I was going to make the jump. And that's kind of what led me to where I am here I am today, and been in your group right at about a year now, and successfully closed my first syndication, 78 units, a mobile home park located in Tennessee with 2 other warriors within the group.
Nice. Now, did you join at the Orlando boot camp? Was that where you joined?
So I joined right before. So
okay.
I was so excited. I I ended up buying a park before I jumped into the Warrior Group, but then I sold it, I exited, and I had some extra cash on hand. So I knew I wanted to follow you, jump in with your team. And so it was right before the Warrior Group. So I couldn't wait.
Nice. So I have a question. Well, first of all, was it my friend Kevin that you did that deal with, or was it someone else?
So I've been in close communication with Kevin through the years, and I haven't actually done one with him yet, but it was another guy.
Oh, let me give him a shout out. So Kevin Bupp, what a very, very good friend of mine, has a mobile home park podcast, has dozens of mobile home parks. And actually my brother works with him, and he's just a super, super guy, filled with integrity. And he's raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for my charity. So I just want to give him a quick shout out. But let me ask you a question. How did you find that mobile home park? How did you find the deals that you found for wholesaling? Let's talk about that for just a minute.
Yeah, so I specialize in going direct to seller, and you can locate these sellers by various different methods. Sometimes it's as simple as jumping in a telephone book or going and do a Google search and just looking up apartments or mobile home parks and just calling through the list. This particular individual that I located and put the syndicator in contact with, I just went on mhvillage.com and just randomly started calling.
Oh, you found it. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. And so, he wasn't too sophisticated. He was still answering the phone and operating the park.
600 spaces?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of one of the secrets that's been, it's kind of getting out now with the mobile home park industry. Yeah. You could get direct to seller pretty easy with a lot of the mobile home park owners.
Yeah. No, I actually had 8 virtual assistants working for a full year, mapping every mobile home park in the country. They'd go on Google Earth. They'd fly around because a lot of them aren't mapped out. And I never pulled the trigger on it. I went into back into regular multifamily apartments, but awesome. So did you do any direct mail, or was it just pick up the phone and cold call?
Yeah, so I've dabbled in direct mail. Direct mail has not really netted me a whole lot of good results. Is the more expensive marketing channel. I prefer to do cold calls. So within my wholesaling journey, 98% of all the properties that I've closed is been cold call. And so I've closed easily somewhere close to 150, maybe 175 transactions.
Gotcha.
I've been seeing that's a favorite.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lately of a lot of the Warriors, cold calling. I've been seeing that a lot in the group. That's what a lot of the guys are teaching. For the listeners who don't know, and I don't even know, what are some of the benefits, pros and cons of doing those mobile home parks versus maybe a traditional multifamily or even like a single family?
Yeah, so mobile home parks, they're unique because they cater towards a specific segment of society. And so, apartments, you're going to be more focused on the working class individuals that can afford to pay $700, $800, $900, $1,000 a month for rent. But mobile home parks, the lot rent is, it can be as low as $150, and it can get up to, $500 and $600 in the Colorado markets and the more higher price markets. But here in the Midwest, they're still stagnant around $300, $350 a month. And so that hits a segment of society that they need to be served housing. They have a great need for housing, and it's the affordable housing cure for America.
Right. Now that is the demographic that's getting hurt right now with inflation and gas and food prices and everything else. That lowest income demographic. The thing that's in your favor, obviously, with a mobile home park is if they own the home, which is the ideal way to do it, and just do lot rent, then it's a big deal to try to move a home. It costs thousands of dollars, and most people can't afford it unless it's another park trying to poach them into their park. But so you do have a little bit of an edge there where it's they're going to do everything they can to not lose their home. So that 78 unit was a mobile home park. Where was that located?
Yeah, so the 78 unit that I closed with the two Warriors, that was located within Johnson City, Tennessee.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no, that's a good market.
Now, what's the play on those? Is there much value?
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. I'd actually I want to ask that question, but I want to build into that. So forgive me, Mark, for interrupting. But so my question to you is, and one of the things that, I know a lot about mobile home park investing, and although I haven't pulled the trigger on it, I've been around it for a very long time. And, one of the things that comes to mind is that, I don't recommend you do parks under about 40 spaces because you can't have an on-site manager and you're killing yourself. Now, do you have an on-site manager at that 78 unit that you're managing?
Yes, sir. So we do have a manager already on site. So this particular park, it was ran by a gentleman. He was 81 years old. This person, he really wanted to get out of the business. I met him. He had a fall recently, and he was pretty much just kind of fed up and was done. Yeah, he was liquidating things, and so we got this thing at a steal. But to answer your question, so there was a park manager that was already in place. He basically was operating the whole operation. Right. And the guy, it was just like turnkey for the owner. He didn't keep up with anything. The guy
That's unusual. That's unusual. Typically you got to bring somebody in but let me ask you this, or let me mention something, and then you can tell me what this park has. So one of the things you really have to pay attention to with a mobile home park is the infrastructure. For example, is it on well water, or is it on city water? Is it on a sewer or a septic system? What's the electrical system look like? So in this particular situation, what's the answer to those questions?
Yeah, so I always prefer public utilities. Right. I wouldn't shy away from private. You just kind of got to know how to mitigate things. Can you connect to public? You just got to know your options whenever you're dealing with mobile home parks. But this particular park, it is 100% public utilities.
Fantastic.
We just have no headache at all. Initially, we thought there was some Orangeburg, and that's something else you some of your listeners may want to watch out for. Orangeburg, sewer piping. It disintegrates. It disintegrates. Yeah. It presents many challenges, and the best thing to do is to replace it. And we thought we had some, but we discovered pleasantly
that you didn't. A couple other notes on that. So if you see an asset, a mobile home park, because this is unusual for us to talk about mobile home parks on this show. So I want to elaborate a little bit and add some value for you guys. So if you see a mobile home park, again, the system's the most important piece. And so if you have well water and the well goes bad or the well goes dry, you're out of business. So you should always have a second option with the ability to connect to, municipal water. Okay. So that should be like a back of the napkin exit plan in case there's a problem with the well water. Same thing with the septic system. If you've got septic systems or, a few around the park, you should have the ability to connect to sewer in case there's a problem with the septic systems. Now, sometimes you'll have actual sewage plants in these mobile home parks, and they can be very expensive. I mean, upwards of 100,000 to hundreds of thousands. And so, if you see one of those, you should absolutely have it checked out by an expert. So again, it's the systems that are the biggest thing. And the real business model that's the most successful is if you see a park that has park-owned homes where they're basically renting the home like they're renting a house, you want to try to sell those and convert it to lot rent as soon as you can for a lot of reasons. The biggest one being pride of ownership. People will take better care of it. They'll, do you agree with me on this, Eric?
Oh yeah, definitely. And then it cuts down on the expense ratio. So mobile homes, they just don't hold up. It's not like a stick built home. It's not like an apartment. It's basically tin cans that's going to take on water and rust out. And it's a major issue, and it's really labor intensive and expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So what's the play on these sorts of deals? And I don't know if there's much rent increase opportunity on mobile home parks, or if it's more just cutting down on expenses, managing it better, and just slowly going up over time. But what's the plan and the play around these sorts of deals?
Business plan. Yeah.
Yeah. So business plans can come in various different, schemes or plans here. So you could develop it out. You could add more homes if the city allows it. And so you can, increase the occupancy that way. If there's empty lots within the park, when you take possession of it, you could bring in homes. You can drive up the NOI that way. You can take advantage of mismanaged expenses. You can convert the water to like public water, and you can also bill it back to the tenant. So there's many different ways to capitalize on driving an NOI up on a mobile home park.
What specifically comes to mind in that particular park in Tennessee? Anything?
Yeah, so we're looking at increasing the occupancy as far as there's just 2 empty pads. We want to bring in a couple of homes. The lot rent on average was somewhere close to right at about $150.
Wow.
It was $150 on average amongst 78 or 76 occupied homes or pads within the park. So the market is right at about $350. Yeah. So we're going to bump it, and we already came in and bumped it, and the tenants, they didn't offer any pushback. They knew they was getting a home run, a slam dunk deal. So we came in.
I assume you're staggering it though. You're not going to hit them all at once. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we didn't hit them all at once, but we did do a decent increase. I think we brought it up to about 230, somewhere around there. So we didn't go all the way with it, but we're going to come in and operate it as professionals, as sophisticated operators, and make it look a lot better at signage, new mailboxes, the typical value.
The outside stuff that you do to make people know that, there's a new person in town, they're going to take care of it, and you really care about the asset and so on and so forth. And by the way, guys, even with with normal apartment complexes, that's the first thing you should do. We've got this asset in Nashville that we just closed on, although we're still raising a little bit of money. I got a little behind on the raise because I went to Europe for 3 weeks, and then I had this damn hurricane, and excuses are like armpits. Everybody has them and they stink, but that's my, I haven't worked this thing as hard as I should.
Hurricane's a good excuse, Rod.
Yeah, it's a pretty good excuse.
Yeah.
But by the way, if you're accredited and you haven't heard about that deal, go to creecapital.com and check it out. It is a screaming deal, and there's still a little bit of room left in it. It's in Tennessee. And the reason I bring that up is, we actually closed on it Thursday, and we met yesterday, and we talked about it, and we're already approved bids to fix the front gate for the cars to come in and secure it. The complex. We're putting in new lighting. We're signing that bid. LED lighting throughout the complex, and we're putting in a whole new camera system. So all of this is going to happen in the next 30 days. And then the next thing will be we will paint exterior trim, because all the trim on this place looks nasty. And so people will see that we're starting to improve it. So you always start, and the reason I'm bringing this up is you always start with the exterior improvements, before you work on the interior, so people really see that you're starting to, make things happen there. We've got new signage approved for all the buildings, for the, the numbers on the buildings and the numbers on the units and the main sign in the front. So, that's how you do it. So let me ask you this, my friend, Eric, what, are you just going to stick with mobile home parks, or are you going to, do some apartments as well?
Yeah. So, my actual number one goal is apartments. So, when I joined your program last December 5th, as a matter of fact, my goal for 2022 was to close 100 units as far as apartments. But, I knew that I had a skill set still for mobile home parks, and so I didn't want to just kind of leave it behind, especially if it's going to be able to generate some income. I want to utilize it still while I'm sourcing deals. Sure.
You're going to triple the income. Good Lord. That's what's coming. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Oh, by the way, guys, if you are interested in the Warrior program, text the word crush to 72345. So we can help you crush it in this business. So again, you text crush to 72345 to apply. And, we look you over, you look us over. And if it's a fit, we work together. And, I'm pretty blessed to say and you, Eric, probably don't even know this. Our Warriors are own somewhere in the neighborhood that we know of about 100,000 units. So, I mean, it is crazy, and I've only been teaching 5 years, so I'm very, very proud of that. Well, let me ask you this, buddy. I like to ask this question. In your real estate journey, did you have any like aha moments, any epiphanies where you're like, okay, now I get it, kind of a thing? And maybe you've alluded to them already. I think you may have, but just speak to that a little bit.
Yeah. So when I was going down that wholesaling journey, I thought that was going to be the way for me to take care of my family and really achieve that financial security that I was looking for.
Right.
And along that path, I discovered it was just a job. Right. And when you're doing that transactional kind of things, you're just creating work. And so I snapped out of it and I started listening to you and
it's been all downhill since there.
Oh no. Well, no, I soon realized that, I want to own assets and I was attracted to you because you really drove home that, hey, hold on to them. Don't just get in, get out. Hold on to these assets, create generational wealth. And so that is the plan moving forward.
Love it. Love it. Now, I want to mention one thing about wholesaling, though, because I asked, and I need to put it out there in the Warrior Group again. I put a post in the Warrior Group probably about 18 months ago, and I said, how many of you have wholesaled a deal and made over $100,000? And there were a dozen at that time that had, and 2 of them made over $1 million. And so
multifamily.
Multifamily. Sorry, yes. I didn't clarify that. Yeah, the wholesale, the multifamily deal made over $100,000, and again, 2 made over $1 million. And I know there was just a post. I just did the Warrior training, and there was somebody that did 175,000, I think, wholesaling something in the group. And
storage unit, storage unit. I just saw that.
Yeah. So again, those are nice hits. But yes, it is. You're only as good as the next deal for sure. But, those numbers are a whole lot better than, 10, 15, 20 grand on a single family. So, I want to mention that. Anyway.
Well, what's been your experience, Eric, as a warrior? Why did you decide to do it rather than just keep doing things on your own?
Good question.
So, I knew that as I started educating and preparing to go into multifamily, I knew that I was going to need a team. And the more I listened to you guys, the more I listened to Rod, I was really drew to you guys because of the Warrior program. And so I knew that I needed to get there. And since joining the deal that I was able to close, I wouldn't have been able to close it had I not been in this program. And so 2 of the guys that we syndicated the deal with, they're warriors. And one signed on the note, and the other one brought the majority of the cash to close the deal. We needed somewhere close to $920,000 to close the deal. And one of the warriors brought the majority of the cash.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. By the way, did you turn in for a sword? Did you get a sword?
I did. Yes.
All
yes.
right, awesome.
I got it.
By the way, guys, when you get your first deal as a warrior, you get this awesome freaking sword in the mail. It's the real deal, and then you become what we call a warrior of the sword. So that's awesome. Good for you. So let me ask you this. You have done a lot already, and I thought you were a lot younger than you are, but that's you've got grandkid. Wow. Mm-hmm. If you could go back in time. When you first got into real estate, tell that age person, that age version of you, is there anything you might do differently?
Yeah, I would have pursued syndication. So when I was narrowing it down as to what niche within real estate that I was going to go after, instead of selecting wholesaling, I would have went after syndicating commercial real estate. And so the biggest hang up for me at that point in time was the lack of money, the lack of financial resources. And I just didn't know about using other people's money and connecting and the teamwork and, you using your unique skill set. Like I brought the deal to the syndication, and that was my strength. And that's how I got into the deal. And
so you got a piece of a deal, and you really, you may not have any money in it. And I know that a lot of warriors do it that way. See, here's the thing, guys, these deals take money, but it doesn't have to be your own money. There's so much money looking for a home. And you found it, the bulk of it in the Warrior Group, which is fantastic. But there's people that are getting killed in the stock market right now. There's I think it's done the worst it's done in decades. It's happening right now. And so, and we won't talk about crypto and the people getting killed there. So, people want to invest. They want to get a good return. They want to get a conservative return. And that's the one thing that this gives them. So yeah, good.
So for people listening that haven't done any real estate, no wholesaling, multifamily, single family, nothing, Eric, what if you were to say pick one skill, what do you think should be that first skill that they should learn, whether it is finding deals or finding money or underwriting? What do you think is the first thing that people that don't have any experience should learn, in your opinion?
Yeah, let me add something to that. Just add some words of wisdom that you would share with aspiring multifamily investors, like he said, people that have not pulled the trigger yet. So take that any way you like. I wanted to supplement that question.
Yeah, so I would say sales. If you could get sales underneath your belt, even if you come in as an agent, it gets you belly to belly with people. You get that interaction. And from there, you could build around that. You could build the underwriting skill. You can build the networking skill, all those things. But the biggest challenge is actually getting out and talking with people, connecting with people. And once you get that underneath your belt, I mean, the sky's the limit.
That is a great answer, brother. Great answer. And I will tell you, if this is not your wheelhouse, you can develop this. Go out and get some sales books. Grant Cardone is good. Tom Hopkins, I had him on the show. Both those guys have had on the show multiple times. Grant's is Seller Be Seller, I think. Huh?
Bradley, you were on his podcast. He has his own thing. He's really good.
Yeah. So that is really great advice, because, your ability to influence or sell, whatever you want to coin it, is probably the greatest skill you could have. So that is a great answer, Eric. Awesome. Learn sales. Any other words of wisdom that you would share with an aspiring multifamily investor?
So words of wisdom that I would part with is connecting. I mean, wherever you are within your journey, if you have resources, financial resources, 100 grand, 50 grand, 20 grand, if you don't have any money, you're going to have to get connected. You need to network like crazy. And the more you network, the more people that you come in, encounter with, the better off you're going to be within real estate, because real estate is 100%. It's a people business, and it's who and
team business.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to connect with people.
That's really good advice as well, buddy. That's really good advice. And I'll tell you, we discovered this about 3 years ago, that our most successful warriors are the ones that are the most connected inside the Warrior Group. And so what we do is we do everything we can to connect warriors with each other. Like we've got a warrior event coming up in Sarasota here in 3 weeks. So we're just warriors. 250 warriors will be here connecting and having breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. And so we facilitate it through those things. And then we also do, breakouts after our Q&As every other week. So warriors can connect randomly as well, because it's just such an important. And then, when we get a new warrior, we'll send them all the warriors that live around them or invest around them, so they can connect locally and go break bread and have a meal with them. And those are those pictures of those meetings are posted almost weekly in the Warrior Group. Almost every week there's some warriors meeting all over the country. So so what your advice is really sound. And so even if you're not in our program, get out there, go to meetup groups, go to real estate investor club meetings, get around people that want more out of life. Your peer group is super important right now. And get around people that will hold you to a higher standard, that you can connect with, that you can send deals to, or have, pull money from, or whatever. Your net worth is absolutely tied to your network. So that is great advice, brother. Well, listen, what motivates you, Eric? Where's the motivation come from, buddy? What makes you jump out of bed and go conquer this? Because I can tell you're super motivated.
Yeah, so I'm definitely a man of faith. I'm a strong believer in God, but more or less it's to take care of my family, and also to reach out and help others. So I want to educate as many people as possible and help as many people as possible that may have been in similar situations as I was with, turbulence within the workplace, or just looking for job stability or financial security, I want to help educate them to let them know that there's another path, and commercial real estate, it'll be a great vehicle to get you there.
Love it. Love it. Love it. You know, it's funny. We had my boot camp in Denver, and we had 850 people there, and there were a couple hundred warriors there, and we did a Hall of Fame. Like we awarded our, 10, we picked 10 warriors out of our, over 1,000 that were really exemplary and great examples of what we're doing. And I saw a pattern, and I'm tying into what you just said. We did a little PowerPoint slide for each one of them, and every single one of them does something to make the world a better place. Charitable, training people, helping, building schools in India, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for veterans suicide, for veterans homelessness. I mean, it's just astounding. Every single one of them has some sort of a charitable thing they're doing to help other people. Well, listen, brother, I appreciate you coming on the show. You did a bang up job. Great answers to the questions. Great to see you again. And, awesome job. And hopefully I'll see you at one of the events real soon.
Yes, sir. No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Mark, I'll see you later, buddy. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Rod, I know a lot of our listeners are wanting to take their multifamily investing business to the next level. Now, I know you've been hard at work helping our Warrior students do just that using our ACT methodology, which is awareness, close, and transform. Can you explain to the listeners how they can get our help?
You bet. Guys, we've been going nonstop for 3 years, building an amazing community of like-minded people. And our coaching students, which we call our warriors, have had extraordinary results. They've purchased thousands and thousands of units. And last year, we did over 1,000 units with our students. And we're looking to grow this group and take it to the next level. We're looking for people who want to follow a proven framework that's really step by step, and then leverage our systems and network to raise equity, to find and close deals, and to build partnerships nationwide. Now, our warrior community is finding success in any market cycle. So if you're interested in finding out more about how you can become more of our incredible network and take advantage of the incredible opportunities that are coming very soon, apply to work with us at mentorwithrod.com, or text the word crush to 72345, and we'll set up a call so you can check us out and we can check you out. Again, to apply, text crush to 72345.